Avenue. I have a point of order question. The select board had decided to meet at 7 p.m. so that the taxpayers could get here, because most people are working right now. I just wanted to point that out. I was delayed. I have one question about an earlier matter, and I was delayed because of work. So I want to ask, would you let me ask the question related to an earlier matter?
Go right ahead.
Okay. Regarding licenses, Mr. Albert, for this year's license and the 2022 license, had signed under penalty of perjury that saying that he did not owe taxes. And I have a document here showing that he did owe taxes during those years. So I'm wondering whether that affects his license, because as we all know that if you don't provide correct information for your license, besides it being signed under penalty of perjury, that license is also is in question.
Mr. Judy, did you want to address that? Was there
I think she's talking about previous years,
so
not this year's.
Well, I'm wondering why would you approve a license when you know for at least the two previous years it had been signed with false information? I'm happy to share this with you. It's from showing the years that the back taxes are owed for. And I understand you paid them this morning, but I'm saying why would you approve a license for somebody who had given you incorrect information when they did owe taxes for the past at least 2 years? Those are the only applications that are on the website.
I was under the impression that all the taxes and everything was satisfied. So
But they weren't last year when he signed. He gave incorrect information, and that usually is a cause of concern for a town. If someone applies for a license lying, giving erroneous information.
All I can tell you is that the town bylaw, it really focuses on what's owed to the municipality. So it's local meals tax, real estate tax, betterments, assessments. So those are the things that when we get a license application, we look at. And to the best of our knowledge, everyone that got approved had no outstanding charges or taxes that owed to the town of Canton.
So I just want to point out on your own form where the person signs, pursuant to, and then it cites the law, I certify under penalties of perjury that I, to the best of my knowledge and belief, have filed all state tax returns and paid taxes required under law.
So through you, Mr. Chair, I would say that when we receive these applications, we basically take it at face value when someone signs this. We don't research someone's tax status with the state or the federal government. We assume that they're signing that in good faith. So that's how we approach all our applications. We also have no way of knowing what their status is at the time they sign the application and what their status is at the time the application is granted.
Well, this is the lien containing the information saying he did owe taxes during the time period where he signed under perjury, saying that he did not owe taxes.
I believe I had a payment arrangement with the DOR last year during when I signed that. I had that I gave to you guys last year.
Right.
Payment arrangement.
I was trying not to give out any
I know it's personal information.
but
I know. I appreciate that.
yeah. So, in addition to, paying your taxes, if a applicant can show a hardship or they can show that they're in some type of payment arrangement with the state, then that's acceptable as well.
So the fact that this may have been signed under perjury for at least last 2 years, that doesn't concern you, is what I'm hearing.
Well, there's no evidence that there's been any perjury.
It's right here.
He just told you he was in a payment program with the state.
I have something saying it was $24,057.43. You're saying he paid that this morning, but I'm talking about that he provided false information in the prior 2 years.
I don't.
I
Can I ask-
can't speak that. When we will approve the license for this
All
year, I know everything has
question.
been satisfied.
One last question then. The license application that he signed, which I assume had been signed before today, you're saying this morning it was paid? Did that say signed under perjury that he did not owe any taxes?
First of all, I'm not aware of anything being paid this morning, so
No,
I can't speak
sorry.
to that.
So this is not a concern? Okay. I would say to the taxpayers it is.
I would say
Well, thank you.
I would
Thank
say
you.
that if his application was signed after he paid his taxes, then There's no concern.
Absolutely.
That's why I was asking, was
Yeah.
it signed before or after? And how are we to know? I mean, this is, look at all of these, this is not as, this is, he has over a dozen tax liens, so
Okay.
It's hardly-
well, like I said, we're voting on that. Everything is right now has been satisfied, so.
That's it.
Next, Mr. Chair, the Select Board will hold its next meeting on Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, at 7 PM in the Sala Meeting Room, Memorial Hall, 801 Washington Street. I move that we adjourn the December 27th meeting